Unmute 2. Unmute 1. Unmute 2. All right. That one's coming through. Let's see if we can get Todd coming through too.
I'm right here.
Yeah. Hey, are you listening through the through our meeting?
I'm listening through the YouTube right now.
Oh, man, that's no good. That's why there's such a delay. We can't have that for this live stream. It's like it's like such an awkward delay. Like, oh, all right, Todd, can you hear me? Over.
Check one.
3 seconds for him, 3 seconds for me. There's 6 seconds right after.
No, I just switched back. I muted YouTube.
Good. All right. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome. Let me know, as always, if anything sounds out of line. Looks like maybe the music is a little too loud. Let me dial that down. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me good? Can you hear Todd good? Give me a 5x5 in the chat if everything sounds good. If anything's too loud or too quiet, let us know. Todd, talk a little bit so they can hear you as well.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing?
Wow, that was a good entry.
That's right. I'm psyched.
You ever host like a radio or anything?
I do the commercials for the monster truck.
Oh, wow.
Sunday,
Yeah.
Truckosaurus. You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's exactly it. That's how this is. Saturday, speed modeling. You'll pay You'll pay for the whole live stream, but you only need the edge. All right, well, what's up, everybody? Sounds like we are coming through clear here. Nico Concarne is in the chat. What is up, Nico? Thanks for joining us. Maya's here in the chat as well. Thank you for that. Good to hear. Landon Phillips is here. What's up, Landon? How you doing? Welcome, one and all. And as our special guest co-commentator today, we have none other than Todd Blacksher. He is a certified SolidWorks expert, former applications engineer, and SlugMe co-founder and co-organizer. Todd, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I think this is going to be a really good episode. And I have like a new motto for life. You want to hear it? You got to just let it go and have fun.
That's right.
That's a Toby Schnarr's original. Todd told me that mantra just before we started. I stole it from Todd, and I took full credit for it. That's how we do it here.
I put the stamp on it.
Yeah. I got in there and swiped that out within 5 minutes. That's how we roll. So, Todd, it's great to have you here. I'm excited to have a fellow certified SolidWorks expert doing co-commentary with me. And as I mentioned, Todd is the co-founder of SolidWorks' largest users group meeting ever. And I thought this was really cool. He shared with me these hand sketches of some of the original marketing collateral for the very first SlugMe meeting, which I guess was back in 2016. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I had the idea right after World in 2016 and started pushing for it. And finally, in I think it was about May or June, I got the thumbs up. And so we cranked it out and we had it in October.
Oh, it's so awesome. Well, it's come a long way since you guys just finished SlugMe 7, correct?
Yep.
So if you're watching this live stream and you like all things SolidWorks related, be sure to check out some videos on SlugMe 7, and you'll see Todd in there in his action as host. And I'm sure you were just like up, forever prepping for that. And I thought it really came out great. So nice job to all you guys.
We had a blast.
Yeah, it's cool.
We had a blast. It was a lot of fun. We've got the old ones up, so you can see. I know that we have. I believe the first one is up. I know the second one is up because that was the one that I presented. I think 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all up on YouTube.
That's
so
awesome.
If you've got like several hours to kill, because
watch them all, yeah.
Yep. SlugMe 6 was what, 25 and a half hours?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one to start with.
We kept it under 8 this year. That was way better.
Yeah. No, I thought I always think you guys do a great job with it. So yeah, if anybody has any questions about SlugMe, let me know. I apologize, I got a little distracted there. I was looking at something from the control room, but I'm back now.
Shiny object.
Yeah, exactly. So here we are. We are in the TooTallToby 3D CAD Speed Modeling Tournament 2022. Today's October 22nd. And man, it has been quite a ride. Last week, we were down in the red bracket. This was on October 15th. We saw J.A. go up against Anti-Venom. We saw J.A. emerge victorious. He's going on to go up against Ivan the Reasonable on November 12th. And if we move over to the mustard-colored bracket, we saw Low 9, Andrew Lowe, surfacing master, go up against Zach G, fellow bass player. And Andrew Lowe was able to advance. He's going to be going to the next matchup against Philo Mathis on November 12th. And that means that we are now in the Sweet 16, baby. We're in the top 16 people of this tournament. So we started out with 32 people, and we are now down to the Sweet 16 here. Here you can see the different matchups that we're going to be having today, next week, on November 5th, and also on November 12th. And it's been quite a ride to get here for sure. The tournament started out with 32 runners, 10 on the waiting list. Now we're just down to 16 runners, the Sweet 16. The tournament started out with 12 countries registered, and now we are down to 7 countries being represented. And the tournament started out with 6 different CAD systems, and we are now down to 4 different CAD systems. So we're down to SolidWorks, Onshape, Inventor, and Fusion 360. So we'll see who gets through and ends up in the finals, emerges victorious. And the other big news that happened this week is that we were able to figure out some prize money. Woohoo! So the prize money breakdown looks something like this. Whoever makes it to this final match on December 3rd is going to get paid, and the person who wins the whole thing is going to get $200 USD up top for first. For second place, we got $100 USD, and for third and fourth place, we got $50 each. And that is a sponsorship that is primarily coming in from Mrs. TallToby. So huge shout out to Mrs. TallToby for putting together some sponsorship for this thing. We're hoping that next year we get more corporate sponsorship, and we'll see a bigger prize pool, and we'll see a wider range of people being involved. And so I'm very excited about that. And I think that we are just kind of at the beginning of something really cool here. It's always fun to be in on the ground level of something. So I'm very thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be here with you, Todd.
It's going to be awesome to watch this just explode. I mean, it's just going to be huge.
Yeah, I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see university teams. We're going to see college scholarships that are based on your, TooTallToby speed modeling record. I think we're going to see, coaches. There's going to become like a whole coaching economy. We're going to see teams, stables, all of it. It's just going to explode, like you said.
Get some hardware sponsors,
cryptocurrency, virtual reality, synergy. We're going to just have everything. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just start out here today, October 22nd, with our 4 runners, DrBeljan, Victor, 5 Lax, and Alnis. I'm excited to see these guys running today. I do want to mention one thing about one of our runners today. Unfortunately, our good friend of the show and fellow Slug Me co-founder, I don't know if he was a co-founder or not, Cam was not able to continue due to scheduling conflict. And back on August 13th, Cam and 5 Lax had a really tight match, one of the tightest matches we've seen. So I figured 5 Lax would be a perfect person to replace him so we can continue on with the tournament. They were very closely matched, and so 5 Lax was able to do it. So huge shout out to 5 Lax for being able to step in there. And so that's what we're going to see today, 5 Lax and Alnis in this blue bracket going into the Sweet 16 here. Sometimes we got to make adjustments on the fly.
Yeah. Well, I know that Cam's been just super busy because he wasn't even able to make it to Slug Me this year. And I think that just killed him because, we look forward to it all year, and he was super psyched about it. He's like, guys, I just got so much going on. So same thing here. I'm sure that he wanted to be in this.
Yeah. It's brutal, and when things get busy like that, I totally get it. But, Cam has won this thing before, and I got a feeling next year we're going to see him coming back and maybe even winning again. So
with a vengeance.
Yeah, he's going to be like, that's it. Nobody's getting in my way. So next week, we're going to see Neil Custard and Ricardo J go up against each other. Neil And then we're going to see Tom Smith and Yaya TK go against each other as well. So very excited about those matches next week, continuing the round of 16. If you guys are out there and you like this kind of stuff, please support the channel. There's a lot of different ways you can support the channel. But one of the best ways you can do it right out the bat is you can like and subscribe. There's 27 people watching right now, and there's only 4 likes. So let's see if we can get that to match up. I'm going to go over to my second computer here. I'm going to hit the like button on my second computer. Let's see what we can do here. 7, okay, that's what I like to see. 8. Let's see how far we can drive that number up while we're talking here. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're watching this and you like it, you don't have to subscribe right away. Maybe watch it to the end, see if this is your kind of shtick. And if it is, please feel free to subscribe. Feel free to take a screen capture of some of these matchups and share that on social media. You could grab some, 1v1 action. And feel free to join the mailing list. If you go over to TooTallToby.com, when you go to TooTallToby.com, that's where you can sign up so that I'll have your email. And that way, if anything ever happens to YouTube, I know all these different platforms seem like they're constantly going up and going down. I know YouTube is one of the most stable. That's why I chose it. But you never know what could change. And this will just give us one more avenue of staying in touch with one another. So you can join that mailing list over at TooTallToby.com. And if you want to provide some financial support for the channel, we really put a lot of time, a lot of energy into this channel. I'm not going to say I'm doing this full-time yet, but it does feel like full-time for sure, and hopefully one day that'll be the case. And so if you like what you're seeing on this channel, feel free to go into Super Chat. I see Chris Knudsen went into Super Chat. Thanks a lot, Chris. Appreciate that support, bro. Love the avatar that you use, the Stickman avatar you cannot go wrong with. So love the avatar you're using there. Thanks a lot for the Super Chat. If you want to contribute to the channel financially, feel free to go into Super Chat like what Chris Knudsen did here just a few moments ago. You can hit the little dollar sign underneath, and that'll give you a cool little message. If you want to say anything special in that message, feel free. Of course, I'll read it. I read all the messages, so it's not really anything special there. But feel free to help support the channel. If you're watching the recording of this, you can go in and use what's called Super Thanks. It's kind of like giving the tip to the creator using a credit card. And if you don't want to use a credit card for Super Chat or Super Thanks, feel free to use PayPal over at TooTallToby.com. You can support the channel financially over there by using PayPal. All those go a long way to allowing us to continue to create valuable content. Things like practice models, like if you're looking for a good source of 2D prints similar to what we do in the tournament, you can check out the practice models playlist over on YouTube. If you get a lot of value out of those, feel free to send some financial support with Super Thanks. And similarly, RealView stopped working. This happened to me this week. So, and I know it happened to somebody else that I know because he reached out to me and he's like, what the heck happened? My RealView just all of a sudden stopped. And I was like, yeah, mine just stopped too. Well, 2 months ago, I made a video on what to do if RealView was working and then it stopped. What's probably happening is Windows updates are hijacking your graphics card driver, and you got to go back and roll back to your earlier graphics card driver. I got a whole video that explains how to do that. So you can spend like a couple hours trying to figure out how to fix RealView, or you could just say like, I'll fix it later. I don't even know what's going on. Or you could just spend 5 minutes, watch this video, get the correct driver, uninstall the old one, install the new one. You can toggle that option in Windows. It stops it from hijacking your system, but I toggled that option and clearly it didn't work because I lost RealView this week too. So if you're out there and you lost RealView this week, put a 0 in the chat. And it's not a 1 because we're not happy about it. It's a 0
No.
because it's frustrating and annoying. So, okay, so that's it. If you guys enjoy the channel, feel free to support. Be sure to hit like, be sure to hit subscribe, and of course, financial support is always supported, is always appreciated, and supported. I support you supporting me. Let's get into it here. How's this thing going to work today? October 22nd, we're going to see our 4 runners. We're going to start out with DrBeljan versus Victor. And this is a speed modeling challenge where I show the competitors a 2D print on the YouTube live stream, and they try to turn that into a 3D model and calculate the mass. And they are going to enter that mass in the YouTube chat. Now, the rules for the tournament are that it's a best of 3 matchups. So after DrBeljan and Victor finish their first matchup, they're going to have at least 1 more. Whoever wins the first matchup will get a little green dot next to their name up in the overlay. And if you are answering and you get the mass incorrect, you're allowed to answer incorrect 1 time. I will say, hey, I'm sorry, Tom Smith, you got it incorrect. You're going to need to go in and look at your model, look at the print, try to figure out what you got wrong, and then you have 1 more chance to get it incorrect. If you get it incorrect twice, then I'm going to put up a timer, and it's up to the other person to figure out what that mass is. So you get a chance, you can fly through, you can get it incorrect once, and then I'll tell you got to be a little bit more careful, and then you can try to get it correct that second time. Whoever wins,
give the model that final spin.
Yeah, give the final spin. You got to look at that final spin. Whoever is able to get 2 wins is going to move on to the round of 8. What's up, Turn Mill? Welcome to the party. If you're out there watching and you want to play along with, please feel free to do so. You can take a screen capture. You can see if you can model faster than these guys. but please do not help them. And that means don't enter the correct answer in the chat, and don't help them if they get stuck. Really, today, these guys who are running are our stars, so let's let them shine. If you want to model along with from home and you figure out what the answer is, just in the chat, you can just type something like "got it" or "I finished," something like that. You can see if you can go faster than these guys. But here we are on the round of 16, and I don't know if any of you out there in the chat are going to be faster than these guys, because these guys are really getting fast. Every time we go to another round, we just see faster and faster action. So good luck. Thank you very much, Idris. I will make sure to tell Mrs. TooTallToby that you said thank you. And let's see here. Just yell at your screen. It's just as good. Yep, that's good too. It's a fillet. You need to add the fillet. What? How do you not see that? It's right there. That's what I do.
Define your sketches.
You got to fully define your sketches. All right, today we are in the black bracket. Let's meet our runners for today. So we have none other than DrBeljan going up against Victor. And this is going to be a pretty good matchup. I'm very excited to see what these guys come up with here today. And so DrBeljan, you can see, started using SolidWorks back in 2007. Works as a decorated aluminum sheet design, and works in aerospace with composite materials. And Victor, who's going to be on the right side of the screen, has been using SolidWorks for 8 years, currently works with a 3D scanning firm, and had 6 years of using SolidWorks with Formula SAE. So we got some good skills here being pitted up against one another. What do you think, Todd?
I think so. And I mean, the Formula SAE, that builds your skills quick. You know, between Formula and Mini Baja, a lot of people learn a lot about SolidWorks. So hopefully that helps, because, you know, Beljan has a few more years under his belt.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and he's got all that experience with the aerospace and composite materials too. So I think it's going to be a good matchup. Let's get into it here. What's up, Michael LaFleche? Nice seeing you in here today. Michael joined us last week in co-commentary. He was an excellent co-commentator as well. And nice to see you in here in the chat. All right, what we're going to do here is I'm going to flip over to full screen, and we are going to see our first matchup in the Sweet 16. I am very excited. Let's go. And so the CAD battle is going to begin as soon as I show the 2D print. So we got DrBeljan on the left, we got Victor on the right. Both of these guys look like they are ready to go. So here we go. I'm going to show you guys the print. As soon as I show it, you are going to start creating your 3D model, and you're going to enter the mass in the YouTube chat. In 3, 2, 1, go. So here we can see this model is called Arm Link. It is in MMGS. It is plain carbon steel. What is the mass of this part? In XXXXX grams, with a tolerance of plus or minus 3 grams. And they're off. Both of our runners are going for it. So we see DrBeljan on the left with the dark theme in SolidWorks. We see Victor on the right, and we can see that it looks like, you know, as always, when you're trying to create a 3D model from a 2D print, the challenge is, what's my starting sketch plane and what's my starting profile going to look like? We can see what Victor's coming up with here on the right, but before we start commentating on that, let's see what DrBeljan comes up with. Sometimes it's always interesting to see if they start on the same profile or if they mix it up a little bit.
Well, the interesting thing about, you know, speed modeling is I'm one of the ones that likes to sit and stare at the print for a while and, you know, work it all out in my head. And there's no time for that. You just got to go instinct.
It looks like maybe Victor wishes he would have done that, because he just ended up doing a full restart.
Been there, done that.
Yes, indeed.
That used to be a mantra. It was like, it's always faster to draw it the second time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it looks like he was pretty fast there. I mean, look at Victor going through creating that first profile, and it does indeed look like they're both kind of starting out with that same profile, huh?
Yep.
And so we can see here that Victor taking an interesting approach here, kind of drawing it a little bit off from the orientation that the print was in. You know, if we look at the print, I'll show the print here on the overlay in YouTube. If we look at the print here, we can see kind of the whole part has a little bit more of like a vertical orientation, but it's almost like Victor decided to draw it laying down on its side. So we'll see how that pays off for him now going in and creating what looks like the second or third feature there. And we see on the right, DrBeljan going through, adding in those, looks like they're kind of sleeves. Okay,
Yep.
I like that.
Almost looks like a bronze bushing.
Yep. And we see Victor on the right, using a sketching technique that we can use a lot in parametric modeling, where you don't necessarily have to draw the entire model. You could just draw half the model, and then you can use what's called mirror to create the other half of the model when you're done. Now, there's options on how you do that mirror. You can do it at the sketch level, you can do it at the feature level, and it seems like different CAD engineers have different preferences in that regard.
I almost thought you were going to go with one of my standbys. Anytime I was teaching like the essentials class or something like that, I would try to get people, you can sketch sloppy and bring it in with relations and dimensions.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not AutoCAD. You don't have to. Just get the ballpark shape and then pull it in with relations and dimensions.
Wow, look at Victor using that technique of right mouse button to advance through. That is a very
That's
good
one of my
concept.
favorites.
Yeah, that's great. That's going to save a lot of time, both in the modeling challenge, but also just in the real world, you know?
Yeah. And that's one that I always push people to, is to watch the feedback at the mouse, because, right there by the selector, by the arrow, there's so much information, and people miss that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got to kind of take your time as you're going through and watch that. And we see on the left, DrBeljan going through and creating, similar to what Victor did, creating that using the creating half of that feature, with the plan of maybe doing a mirror later. Exactly. And we see on the right that the mass properties is up for Victor, that he's got the mass added in there, and that the mass that he came up with was 16273 grams, and that is correct. That is the correct mass for that part. So that's going to give Victor the first win in this head-to-head matchup. We're going to see at least one more match between these guys. But listen, guys, if you could please, in the chat, give Victor a GG. Give DrBeljan a GG as well. But Victor, wow, that was fast, man. You just flew through that model. That was, I'm not sure if anybody out there in the audience who was trying to play along with was able to do that any faster, because he really screamed through that model.
That was awesome. I've been anxious to watch this, because these are some really good head-to-head meetups, and so just being able to watch them side by side, it's so cool, because it's like, okay, I remember seeing him do this one, and I saw this one, so I want to see how these two come out head-to-head.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is the kind of matchup that I was hoping to see here in the Sweet 16, and these guys definitely are starting off right. Both of them very fast CAD users, and DrBeljan was not far behind. Victor just screamed through that model, but DrBeljan was right there creating that kind of final fork feature. And so, very interesting approaches from both of the runners today, and excited to see, where this thing goes. But GG so far to both of our runners, and let's get into it here. Let's continue on in this Sweet 16 of our 3D CAD speed modeling tournament. Beyond just working with aerospace and composite materials, DrBeljan is also a proud father. So I can get on board with that. And also a gamer. So that's pretty cool. We got to find out what kind of games he plays. I think the main game that I play right now is probably still Minecraft. And even that, I'm not playing that much. And he says, just an ordinary guy, His motto in life is, you just got to let it go and have fun.
We're all going to adopt it.
It's going to be everybody's motto in life now. And like we said before with Victor, he does a lot of SAE stuff, so you can see a lot of that maybe paying off with his proficiency here. Says he's working on 5 different 3D printer projects all at the same time. Okay, that's good. Good to know. And Victor says, I have a hard time finishing projects, but no problem starting new ones. Yeah. So,
I will start a project going to work on another one, because I'll walk by something and it's like, oh, this really needs to be done right after I grab the screwdriver for this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you go downstairs to get a tool for something, and then you see something else and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to build that shelf real quick. And then I'll get that tool. Yeah.
So if you guys know how that feels, be sure to hit that like button. Looks like we got 41 watching right now. We got 17
Awesome.
likes. Let's see if we can get that 17 up closer to 41. So we got a nice little match there in the number of people watching and the number of likes. And I think that's a great segue here into our next matchup. So here we go. Let's take a look at this next matchup. Just gonna make sure one last time. Check and double check and triple check. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look here at our next CAD matchup. We're gonna have DrBeljan on the left. We're gonna have Victor on the right, and we're going to take a look at this next challenge in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in 0.xxx pounds? Okay. Plain carbon steel, IPS density 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter, and we can see here that this thing is called slide tray. It has a uniform wall thickness, but the lower face has a different thickness, so be on the lookout for that. It's got a view there on the upper right that just is kind of showing us the location of the holes. And man, these guys are already off to the races, so let me flip over so we can see their screen. So I know we didn't really get to see it, but we can see the result there that Victor was able to use some of that auto dimensioning in sketch mode. And now here we see the use of fillets while still in sketch mode. What do you think about this, Todd? Do we like using fillets while still in sketch mode?
Normally, I don't. Now, here's the funny part, because I like doing them outside of that so I can control them with configurations and I can suppress them. Mm-hmm. But a lot of what we do, we put them in at the sketch mode. Or, I mean, yeah, in the sketch.
Okay.
Because a lot of times that's, that first sketch gives us the whole profile. And so we do a lot of sheet metal. And so we don't add them later.
Okay.
So yeah, it's one of those things. It's the way that we do things at work.
Yeah.
It may not always be the way that you want to, but it totally makes sense that they do it that way
for that application.
Yep.
Interesting use of center lines here from Victor on the right, and also from DrBeljan on the left. We got both of our users doing some funky stuff with center lines, so we're going to see how that works out as well. It looks like maybe Victor is trying to wrap his head around what he's going to do with this geometry here, and we can see what he's maybe trying to do. He's trying to figure out something to do with this geometry. You can see it from the front view. There's a little bit of kind of like an angle to that lower face. So that's what I think Victor's trying to handle. And we see DrBeljan. Look at DrBeljan going through and creating that sidewall. Very nicely done with that sidewall from DrBeljan on the left.
Yeah.
So we're going to see. I thought maybe Victor was going in one direction. I think you thought he was going in as well. So.
Yes, I did. Because I was like, oh, I like what he's doing here. And then he didn't do what I thought he was going to do. And now he is doing it.
Maybe, I don't know. Now he's maybe doing something totally different. Man, this is so interesting. For Todd and I, the challenge for Todd and I is that we don't want to give away anything. We don't want to, we don't want to help the runners by accident. So that's why we're maybe speaking a little cryptically. And not just outright saying like, what's he doing? I think he's doing this. It's like, I think I know what he's doing. I'm very interested to see. And we can see DrBeljan on the left also going through and tackling that same challenge, but using a different approach. And this is what it's all about. It's, two different approaches to get the same exact geometry. Who's going to end up getting out of this thing faster?
That was always one of my really bad jokes. There's a lot of bald cats because there's 100 ways to skin a cat.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
And I think that can sometimes be intimidating for new users. Just there's so many different ways that you can do it, but then the power users really embrace it because for this particular one, it's going to work best to do it this way. I'd rather have more ways to do something than less.
Yes. I think it's one of those things where you just have to, if there are lots of different ways to do something, you just got to pick one and just always do it that way.
Yeah.
And then, and then in the future, figure out a different way to do it. Very interesting here. DrBeljan on the left, kind of running into some unexpected turbulence with regards to the creation of that lower feature. And it appears that Victor has gotten through that, but no, actually I spoke too soon. Look, he's kind of also running into some maybe unexpected results from that feature. So very interesting the way both of our runners were tackling that kind of slanted face. You know, that
got a little bit tricky.
That angled face got a little bit tricky, yeah. And so, you know, we see people making a call at BJH in the chat saying anti-Ivan. That's exactly right, Barry. That's absolutely an anti-Ivan exploit feature there, because our good friend Ivan, who's still in the tournament, also did some co-commentary with us a few weeks ago. He has an exploit named after him, and sometimes I have to make features that are, you know, trying to thwart that exploit a little bit. And so
non-Ivanable.
Yes. Yep. And here he is in the chat right now as well. What's up, Ivan? Welcome. You say his name and he jumps into the chat for sure.
Yeah, there was one. I was watching an old one last week, and I think I did a screen grab on the model, and I wanted to draw it up later. And it was one that really hung me up. And then when I figured out the best way to do it, it was like seconds, but it was just not seeing that.
Yep.
And that is the toughest part.
Exactly, yeah. And when you're under, you know, even if it's just in those practice models, I think just having that clock on there, like,
yep,
it just does something to your brain where it's like, oh, I'm under all this extra pressure now. Oh, I love what DrBeljan is doing on the left, getting in there and adding that lower plate. And we can see on the, you know, again, for those of you that are paying attention here to the discussion that we're having on the right, adding in those holes, it's, you know, it's important that they're in a very specific location because of that slanted face, right? Okay, if you were able to use the Ivan exploit, you could just drop them anywhere you want, but we're not. That's not how we're rolling today.
No dice.
No dice, yeah. And so we see DrBeljan going through, adding in that lower face that has a, you know, a different wall thickness than the rest of the model. Very nicely done there. And we see here in the, okay, and we see, hold on a second, I'm just double checking something here. And we see here in the chat, it looks like Victor has entered. Okay.
There we go.
Looks like Victor has entered a mass of. Yeah. Okay. So looks like Victor has entered the mass of 0.457, which is correct. 0.457 is correct. So congratulations to Victor. Little hiccup there because at first I was reading the mass. Victor entered 0.282 as his first mass, which was incorrect. So, you know, you get one more chance, and then he entered in 0.457, which is correct. So very nicely done, very nicely done. And DrBeljan in the chat, DrBeljan, right away being a good sport, saying GG. So congratulations to Victor for coming through and getting that. Very nicely done. Very, very fast modeling. My goodness, you guys are fast today. This is crazy fast. So nicely done to Victor. He gets the victory cat. He gets to move on to the round of 8. So that is awesome. And congratulations to both of our runners. Thank you so much to both Victor and to DrBeljan for joining us for this tournament today and for coming through and creating those models. That was so cool. You guys in the chat, everybody give Victor a GG. Everybody give DrBeljan a GG in the chat. That is totally awesome. You guys crushed it for sure. What do you think about that matchup, Todd?
Oh man, I almost bit a hole in my lip because I was trying not to say anything because I looked at his mass properties and I saw that he had grabbed the density, and I was like, oh god, you grabbed it! Don't say anything! Don't say anything!
yeah, same.
The numbers don't match.
Yeah, like exactly. I was looking at the mass and I can see the mass, you know, on the stream, and then I'm looking at his what he entered in the chat, and then I was like, those don't match up. What's going on there? So yeah, that was a good catch by him. And good correction there, and very nice modeling all around. Victor, very nice modeling, very, very fast, speedy modeling, so nicely done. And I'm going to switch over to, I'm going to switch my screen here, the display screen over here, to our next runners, to 5lax and Alnis, and make sure that they are looking good here, and make sure that I've got everything set up on my end here.
It's going to look a little different because Alnis is running an Onshape.
Oh, yeah. We got an Onshape user in here today. That's awesome.
That's right.
All right. So welcome welcome to Alnis and to 5lax, and love having different CAD systems here in this tournament. I think it's so cool to be able to see the way different CAD systems look and the way they approach these challenges, the same or different. And Alnis has also done some nice work with going through and like replying to some of those practice videos I've posted, and then he shows how to do it in Onshape. So if you want to like see a little bit more of a tutorial and a step through of how people are doing some of these practice models, be sure to check some of those videos out as well. And of course, if you like this kind of stuff, if you like speed modeling challenges and head-to-head competitions and tournaments, which who doesn't like this? Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that like button. We got 21 likes right now. We got 38 people watching. Let's all hit that like button so we can get that number up and get things matched up here. And be sure to share and reshare. Be sure to join the mailing list over at TooTallToby.com. And if you want to support the channel financially, it goes a long way to making sure that we can keep the doors open, keep having tournaments like this. So feel free to use Super Chat if you're really enjoying what you're seeing here. If you're watching if you look down at the bottom of the chat, you'll see a little $ thing that lets you use a credit card to send a few bucks my way to help keeping the channel going. If you're watching the recording, you can do something similar using a little heart with the $. And if you prefer to use PayPal instead of your credit card, you can do that over at TooTallToby.com. There's some PayPal controversy over this past couple of weeks, so I might be getting off of PayPal at some point, but I just have too much else on my plate right now to go through and turn something off that I literally just turned on. I turned it on, and then all this controversy went on about PayPal, and so then I'm like, oh crap, now I gotta turn that off and figure out something else. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as time goes on. But any and all financial support is very, very much appreciated. And I thank you guys so much for that. And with that, let's take a look at the blue bracket today. So in the blue bracket today, we have our good friend 5lax making a resurrection. Cam was unable to continue, and I think 5lax is a perfect person to fill in for him because their matches were so close. And 5lax is going to go up against Alnis. And Alnis is a complete wizard from the world of Onshape, and he's going to be showing us some moves in Onshape here today. So let's learn a little bit more about our competitors. 5lax, who's going to be on the left, has bought 18 3D printers.
Oh, jeez.
18.
That's like take two, they're small, and then get some more.
Yeah, I mean, you can never have too many, really. He said he first watched Toby's tips and tricks while on vacation in Italy. Pretty cool. And Alnis uses Onshape on Linux and is a student at University of Washington and is the CTO of the Underwater ROV team. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
18 is one too many, BJH says. Okay, so, so maybe 17 is good.
As long as you name them.
Yeah, exactly. You got to name them all, yeah. All right, cool. Well, we're back in the Sweet 16 here. Very excited to see what our competitors from the blue bracket have to bring to this Sweet 16. So let me just give me 1 second here.
Okay. Alnis is also a physics student.
Oh yeah, that's what's
yeah.
up.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah,
I remember his last match. It was because I was actually working along with it, and he smoked me.
Oh man. Okay. Well, and 5lax is no slouch either, so I got a feeling this is going to be setting the screen on fire, and we might not even have to talk that much. We might be able to just sit here with our mouths open, like, how are they going so fast? All right, well, let's see what happens here. So we're going to see this CAD battle. Let me flip over to full screen here, and we're going to show this 2D print to 5lax and to Alnis, and this is going to go, as soon as I show this print, you guys are live. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram, and this is MMGS and plain carbon steel. This part is called horn bracket. Both of our runners are already at it, so here we go. Let's flip over. Let's take a look at how they do it. Looks like on both screens we can see our runners selecting a plane and beginning a sketch. And now we get to see kind of the difference between the two CAD packages and also the difference between the two styles of creating CAD.
The approach is, yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts is just, comparing how I would attack it versus how they're attacking it. Because it's a great place to learn.
Yeah, we see that Both of our runners look like they're going to go with the modeling half approach, and then using some kind of mirror, maybe at the sketch level, maybe at the feature level. And then we see that our runners look like they're both ignoring your advice or maybe taking your advice and choosing to include those fillets in the actual original sketch.
I think this is one place where I would do that.
Okay. So it's Todd approved. And we see the runner on the right, Alnis, using Onshape, already has some 3D geometry created. So he was able to get that initial shape in place. We see the runner on the left, 5lax, is kind of including a little bit more geometry in his initial sketch, right? Alnis is using more of the keep your sketches simple approach. That's the approach that I like as well. And Chris is doing the approach where he's kind of including more, maybe more than he needs initially, and he's going to be able to use and reuse that using what are called shared sketches. Now we see Alnis on the right doing a cut with that tombstone shape. Wow, look at that. Cut that tombstone and that hole through both ends. That was very speedy.
That was pretty
creation.
slick.
Yeah, I like that.
That was the one thing I noticed. He has some sneaky tricks.
Yeah, for sure. He really knows his way through this software, through the Onshape software, and knows a lot of little tricks to just make it, fly through and really use and reuse the existing geometry in the model. That's something I've noticed that Alnis is very good at.
But I'm watching the other one because, it's just one of those ones that it's looking like it's going to come together really quick. He's doing the work up front, and then the last bit of it should come together really fast. So that's what I'm anxious to see.
Yes, 5lax is an absolute wizard at using and reusing sketch geometry, selecting sketch contours, and things like that. So completely agree with your assessment. The other problem with this particular challenge is that the drawing, a lot of the dimensions are coming from kind of weird places. Not totally weird, but just like, is it coming from the inside or the outside of that main bar? And so I think that's, I'm really enjoying watching the competitors kind of figure out their way through that. Wow, look how quick he was able to just take that face and then reuse that to change the depth. Speaking of Alnis, that extension of that, it was almost like a moved face in SolidWorks. I don't know what he used there in Onshape to accomplish that so quickly, but wow, he really blasted through that model. Oh, look at this. He's got some, oh, that's nice. A real quick access to that mass properties.
That was quick. Yeah.
That was really, yeah. I noticed he's got like all three of the potential. It's almost like starting a template and having that stuff pre-cooked, but he's just got it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really clever. So the answer that Alnis came in with there is, let's see here, 815.745. That is incorrect. So Alnis is going to need to take a look at his model and try to figure out what exactly was off. Got to do that final spin, right? Look at the model, Look at the 2D
I didn't see the final spin, so I was a little bit nervous.
So, and we're going to see on the left, we got 5lax. Still has the opportunity to get in here and potentially get the point. And we see Alnis trying to double check all his dimensions. I'm sure he's looking at that 2D print. Our competitors have grabbed a screen capture of this 2D print initially. That's what happens at the very beginning. They both have a technique for grabbing a screen capture. Alnis has a chance here to get one more wrong answer, and 5lax is going through and creating the geometry that he needs to get the mass created here. I have to sip my coffee. I'm so nervous about this. It was that was one of those like really setting the screen on fire. For Alnis coming through with that all that geometry, and everything's falling into place on the other one. Yes, on 5lax. I mean, that's what you were kind of predicting, was that he was going to be able to use and reuse that geometry, in a pretty efficient way. So we see that 5lax decided to model basically just half the model all around, and was then able to go in and do what's called a mirror. I guess a mirror all he used at the end there, essentially. And so we see 5 lakhs looking at the mass and entering the mass. We see Alnis has entered the mass of 838. That is correct. Wow, man. Alnis.
And 5 lakhs was just off.
Speed Demon, yeah. And Alnis coming in right behind him, 847. So
9
looks like
grams.
maybe there was something off on that. Yeah, the tolerance on that one was plus or minus 1 gram. So holy smokes, Alnis just flying through that model. And then going through and figuring out, what was slightly off about it so that he could revise that answer and get the correct answer. Remember, our competitors have 1 chance to get it incorrect, and then after that, they have to get through. So, wow, that was really, really fast. Nice.
Because I saw the missing fillet, and I was like, I know what it is.
Yeah,
Please find the fillet, find the fillet.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so it ended up just being that fillet, and nicely done to both of our runners. Wow, GG to both of our runners on that match. GG to the winner of that match. And
I just want to see if 5 lakhs has found the 9 grams, because I think that was it.
Okay, let's see if he wants to show us that. 886 now. That was still something off there. That one should be 838 is what you're looking for there, 5 lakhs. So we'll let him figure that one out. You can keep working on that now, or you can just close it. Don't save. I'm out of here. I don't even want that file anymore. All right, cool. Well, GG guys, put GG in the chat. So close to both of our runners. That gives Alnis 1 point, but the match is not over. We are going to do this as a best of 3. Alnis saying so many small, tough details in this model. Yeah, that's cool. Good. Glad you enjoyed this challenge today. If you guys are enjoying watching these challenges, be sure to put a like in the chat. What's up, Connor Wolfin? Says GG's all around. Cassidy.
We're up to 27 likes, too.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. Let's keep them coming in. What's up, Jason O? Welcome, welcome. Man, very nicely done. A great demonstration of Onshape there, too. We had, like I said, we had Michael LaFleche on doing co-commentary last week. He's the marketing director, technical marketing director at some kind of director at Onshape. He said it's simple. I've got the best job in CAD, and I thought that was really cool how he said that. So
I gotta say that I like the Onshape with the densities, with the different materials all in one. That might be like the Onshape hack.
Oh yeah.
Because that was pretty sweet. It's like, it doesn't matter what material it is, because here's all 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that too. And I saw that Alnis did that in his in one of his videos where he was showing how he gets through and creates the models, where he shared his technique on YouTube. And I thought that was really cool, and he and I talked about it. And there's I don't want to give away too much, but there's maybe some similar stuff we can do in other CAD packages. So just say it that way. And so it's up to our runners to figure out, is there maybe something similar you could do in your CAD package to set you up so that you're just right there. The mass is just right there. It's getting to the point where every little click is going to maybe make the difference, in who finishes this thing first. So really, really good stuff there. So let's take a look at our runner. Let's learn a little bit more about our runners today. So it looks like 5 lakhs. His dog only eats $5 rotisserie chickens from Costco. Okay, it's good to know. And his breakdancing power move in high school was head spins. So there we go. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And shout out to Jason O. Thank you so much, Jason O, for the $5 super chat. If you guys want to support the channel financially, you can be like Jason O. Go down to the bottom of the chat. You can use the super chat option. You can send me a message. Thank you very much, Jason O. Always throwing support to the channel. That financial support goes a long way, and I really appreciate it, just from a personal note. And on this here, you can see he uses Onshape, a student at University of Washington, and Husky Satellite Lab president. Nice, wow. Nice. And so all your constituents are going to be able to see you just crushing here in the TooTallToby tournament. And he also, in his spare time, makes video games. So there we go. That's pretty cool.
Just because.
Just because, yeah. So maybe he's made some of the games that DrBeljan has played, right? Because he's a gamer.
There we go. Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think we're going to see in this match, Todd?
That one was really close, and I think we're going to see that again, because it seems like these, as we get into the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, it's going to be like 1 or 2 features that make the difference. Mm-hmm. Like you said, every click is going to count.
Yes, I completely agree. I think it's really all these matches are just gonna start getting closer and closer and closer, and yeah, we're gonna see what types of tools people are starting to use. But it's not even just the tools. I mean, it's also just having like good solid techniques, like we saw with Victor. He wasn't necessarily using any kind of hacks or any kind of trickery or anything. He just was going through meticulously and using, a lot of the fully defined sketch stuff. He was using the right mouse button to advance through the full round fillet command. All those little things, like you don't need to use any kind of hacks or anything. It's just like having good, solid modeling routines that you practice every day. And that's what it's all about. It's not about like teaching you how to make a sloppy model. It's just teaching you how to more efficiently use the tool that you're using every day at the office. And that way you can really focus on the engineering, and the CAD just almost comes naturally.
That was the exact word I was going to use, was efficiency.
Yeah, it's efficiency, yeah. That's what we'll call it next year. TooTallToby's efficiency tournament.
Efficiency experts.
Doesn't quite have the same oomph as like the speed modeling tournament.
No.
Oh man. All right. What's up, Sarfaraz? Sarfaraz says 5 lakhs. You got to do well in this round to make it interesting. All the best. Yeah. Let's see what happens. See if we end up.
5 lakhs did well in the last round.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah. We got to see if we go to sudden death here. All right, here we go. And Connor says Jason O donating 1 rotisserie chicken to the channel. Thank you. Yeah.
I almost went there.
Yeah, it's perfect. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to take us into our next matchup. This is a best of 3 matchup. So our next matchup is going to go live here. Let me just make sure I got this thing set to this thing. Move the lever over and turn the dial on the knobby. Okay. All righty. So here we go. We're going to flip over to full screen. As soon as I show this 2D print, the challenge will be live. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Tolerance plus or minus 1 gram. Units MMGS, material 1060 alloy, and density 2700 kilograms per cubic meter. Both of our runners are in. Let's flip over and take a look at their screens. Can't even look at the 2D print for too long because of how fast these guys are. Of course, we could always show it here on top. I just don't want to blank out too much of what they're doing. But you can see that they're going to be trying to create this swing bracket using 3D CAD to come up with all the geometry in the correct locations with the correct dimensions. Both of our runners, interesting how both of our runners are choosing to create this thing from the side view using these circles. This is something that we have seen many times in this tournament. And what's so interesting, especially to me, is that most of the time, it's very different from how I constructed it, right? I'm constructing these models to begin with. And so I love seeing this, how, not only are these guys both choosing to start it the same way, but they're also choosing to start it in a very different way from how I did it.
Yep.
So it's very cool stuff. And we can see here that they're both creating these sets of concentric circles in the correct locations and then using those to create the solid geometry of the rails. And they really are neck and neck, feature and feature. Alnis looking like he's got that first solid geometry in place there. Chris going through and creating one, and then looks like the other from the same sketch. He's, like I said, he's really a master of using those selected contours and also, getting that geometry to be, the correct spot, the correct length. That is awesome.
And I like doing that for my everyday stuff because everything's in one place. You can go to one place and make your changes. I'm a huge fan of contours.
Yeah. Yeah, different techniques have been used, from different users throughout this tournament, and some users seem to really prefer those contours. And I'll tell you what, I never really used them that much before the tournament, but since the tournament has started, I find myself using them more and more, just because I've seen how these other guys are using them, and I'm kind of like, is there really any reason not to use them? And I couldn't think of a good reason not to use them. I think it was Ivan who asked that question to me when he was co-commentating. And, I don't really have a good reason not to use them.
Right. And it's one of those, CAD students should really tune in every episode, just because there's so much that, a normal class won't teach you. And just seeing other people's techniques, even if you don't use them, being able to see them.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We see Alnis over here creating the kind of like the overall layout, and Chris kind of doing the same. Looks like Chris is going to be, once again, modeling half the model, and then using that half the model. Look at this use of a construction line, and then making it horizontal there from 5 lakhs on the left. Alnis creating that kind of bridging geometry on the right. I keep looking back and forth. I just can't decide who to look at.
It's very much a tennis match.
Okay, Alnis, yep, discovering maybe a little bit of a problem with that bridging feature, and going through and using, parametric design really allows you to go through and clean up when you run into an issue like that. Very nice use of mirroring there. That was pretty cool how that mirror just came right in. Now here's the question. Here's what I haven't really seen is, can Onshape reuse that same geometry, or does he have to recreate it? Looks like he's able to reuse that pretty easily. Little final spin action here. What's he gonna do about the... Oh, what the... That's one I can't even decipher. I'm looking at Alnis here on the right, and he's got all this junk in the middle, and he's just like, I'm just gonna get rid of it. Let's see how he does it. Okay, that's a little more my speed right there.
Quick and dirty.
Yes. And we see on the left, Chris going through, 5 lakhs going through and creating all of those, that layout geometry. Alnis has come in with a mass of 1827 for the swing bracket. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. That is not correct. So 1827. Alnis has completed the geometry. The model looks good. He did the final spin. He looked at everything. It didn't look like it was off, but the mass was incorrect. So now it's up to Alnis to go through. He's got one more chance to get an incorrect answer. If he gets it incorrect again, then it will be up to Chris to come up with the correct answer. We'll throw a 5-minute timer on the screen. But Alnis still has a chance to get it correct as well. So if he goes through and he looks at the 2D print here and is able to figure out what's going on, what did I miss, what dimension, what feature, what did I miss here, then he may end up getting the mass correct. But once again, 5 lakhs just setting himself up to just blast through and create basically the entire model. Here we go, a little delete face. We love delete face. Anytime somebody uses
so
delete
awesome.
face, they get bonus points for sure. We got the chat putting some pressure on 5 lakhs here. This is your chance, 5 lakhs. I'm sure that's what he's looking for. He just needs some pressure, you know? And we're going to take a look here. We see that 5 lakhs is trying to come up with the mass. Types in the mass here of 761, which is incorrect. It is not correct. So now both of our competitors have entered an incorrect mass. Both of our competitors need to do the final spin, need to do the double click, the look at the whole model, the look at the different features, the look at the dimensions. What did I miss here? What doesn't look right? And this is a pretty darn tight match. Both of our competitors have put together all the features. What are they missing? What did they do wrong? I think they both maybe at the same time turned the screen to the point where they could see, like, oh, that doesn't look right. That's not what you would see in a normal swing bracket.
That's not right.
And look how fast, man.
Oh my God.
How fast 5 lakhs is blasting through this process. Okay, and 5 lakhs has entered a mass of 756 grams. That is also incorrect. So I'm sorry to tell you that is incorrect as well. We have our 2 competitors here looking at this thing, looking over this thing, trying to figure out what's going on with this thing. What did I miss? So much pressure. Table 36 was yelling at the screen. We're trying to figure out what is going on here with this thing.
I'm trying not to chew my nails.
Mm-hmm. And let me get that timer going. So there we see the timer going for Alnis now.
Yes.
He's got to be trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. It's still up to Alnis. He has to, if Alnis can't figure out what the correct mass is, and he's only got 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to figure it out, then it will be a push. So this is really, the pressure is truly on Alnis to figure this out. And he's going to go through, he's going to do the, as we say, the final spin. He's going to look over this whole thing. He's going to make sure that he's looking good. This is not an easy part for speed modeling, that is for sure. And even when it is an easy part, it's still, the pressure is still on. If you guys like this and you want to play along with From Home Ever, join us on Model Monday Live. Unfortunately, we're not going to have an episode this Monday, but you can join us for Model Monday Live. That gives you a chance to do the modeling. And we see Alnis has come in with a revised answer here of 1894 grams, and that is correct. And so Alnis is going to secure the victory cat, and going to take down that win. And what do we think it is, guys? If you guys want to enter it into the chat, what do you think it is that 5 lakhs was missing? If you guys want to enter that in. And Victor has entered it into the chat. And we'll see if anybody else is going to enter that into the chat there to help you out. 5 lakhs, and I'm so sorry. I know that when the pressure is on, the most obvious thing can often be missed. And he says, OMG, LOL. What a good sport. Guys, be sure to give a GG to both of our runners here in this match, to both 5 lakhs and to Alnis. That was an awesome matchup. And yes, indeed. If you want to, I still got your screen shared here, 5 lakhs. If you want to add the material and see if you did come up with that correct mass, once you add the material, let's see here. It should be 1894 should be the correct answer for that. I think it's plain carbon. Oh, it's 1060? Yeah, 1060. 1894. He's got it there. Sorry, bro. Man, you had it. You totally had it. Oh, man. It's brutal. So brutal.
And it was. I mean, it came down to that last little bit.
Yeah. Wow. So very brutal, but an awesome matchup, and I thank you both. And both you guys were amazing competitors. Guys, be sure to give them both a GG. And 5 lakhs, again, being a true gentleman, says, GG, Alnis, you the man. And thank you, 5 lakhs, so much for jumping in at the last minute there. That was awesome and very helpful to the tournament. Guys, if you enjoyed this, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. And I want to say thank you to all of our runners today. That is going to conclude our matchups for today. That does allow Alnis to move into the top 8 on November 19th. That does allow Victor to move into the top 8 on November 19th. Who knows? Maybe those will be the final 2 people that we see on December 3rd. It definitely could be. It could be Alnis and Victor in the final 2. So we will see. Wow. They were both so fast today.
That would be a crazy matchup.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So thank you guys so much for joining us. It was great stuff. Definitely met all expectations for the Sweet 16. Oh, thank you so much, Victor. His note says material not selected. Wow. Go for it. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, JD. Thank you. Appreciate the financial support. That super chat goes a long way. Says thanks for the amazing content. Yeah, man, this is awesome. I'm having a lot of fun with this too. I'm putting in a ton of work, but every time I see a match like this, it's totally worth it. Like, this is just so cool. So, yeah, this is awesome. And next week, we're going to see some more great matchups. Neil Custard, one of the original SolidWorks users, going up against Ricardo J from Brazil, another solid SolidWorks user. Tom Smith, multi-Model Mania winner at SolidWorks World, going up against Yaya TK, one of the youngest ever SolidWorks experts in the world. So we're going to
That's going to be an awesome match.
Yeah, we're going to see some more great matchups next week. So hopefully we will see you guys next week. We're going to be going live on Saturday the 29th. That's when the next matchups are going to be in the Sweet 16. Reminder to help the channel. Just be sure, if you haven't hit like yet, hit like on the way out. We got 30 people watching. We got 30 likes. That is the ratio that I love to see.
Yep.
So thank you for that. Be sure to share and reshare. Grab a screen capture. Post it on social media. Let people know what we're doing here. And join the mailing list over at TooTallToby.com. And thank you again for the super chat, for the super thanks. Oh, man, Alnis, thank you so much. Says best way to spend a Saturday morning. Oh, man, that's great because of you, man. That was cool seeing all that Onshape stuff. So
couldn't agree more.
For that, thank you to the chat. You guys are the best chat ever. Todd, thank you so much. Amazing co-host. You got anything big coming up in the world of Slug Me?
Actually, I'm already starting to think about Slug Me 8. I mean, we've got some ideas going,
yeah,
and
baby.
I had stuff going before we even ran Slug Me 7. I'm like, okay, next year I want to do this. And Dan was just like, let's get through this year first, please. I just want to finish this one out.
That's what you were saying at the beginning, right? You get in the middle of one project and then boom, you're ready to start another project.
Oh, shiny object.
Yeah. It's like the halfway point. When you do the halfway point, then it's like, okay, ready to start on something else. Cool. Well, I'm excited to see what kind of ideas you got for Slug Me 8. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. It's always fun. No Model Monday this Monday, but I will start doing those again soon. Lots of practice models are going out. You know, I'm putting out like 2 or 3 practice models every week. I'm going to start putting out the tutorials to follow up on those practice models so that you guys can see how I think through some of those challenges in case you ever get stuck on those. So be sure to check out those. Be sure to check out the practice models. I'll try and put some other tips and tricks up. Don't forget, if you don't have real view, check out my YouTube channel. There's a video on how to get your real view back. And thank you so much, 5 Lax, for the super chat. I see it just came in. Great game today. It was awesome watching you guys. And I guess we will see everybody next week. So next week on the 29th, we will continue with the tourney and the top 16. Todd, thanks again.
Awesome.
All right.
It was a blast.
That was awesome. All right. See you, everybody.